Hello. This is a letter sent to Delegate David E. Poisson in Sterling, Virginia on February 28, 2009 regarding electronic harassment via organized stalking. Dear Delegate Poisson, I have always been a patriotic, upstanding citizen with a love of life. I held a high secret security clearance with SAIC beginning in 1997, and working with the Air Force and the Pentagon for many years were the proudest days of my career. I always loved the camaraderie and the mission important work. Today I am faced with an atrocity which robs me of my most basic rights in this country: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. My constitutional and civil rights as a citizen, as a human being, are being ruthlessly robbed from me on a daily basis. I have been enduring a covert crime that continues to be perpetrated against me on this day from an unknown group of perpetrators harbored in two neighbors' townhomes, one to the left side of my mother and one to the right side on Stanmore Terrace, in our subdivision in Loudoun County, Virginia. And I want this crime to stop. Due to the remotely applied technological abuses on and through my body, and now my mother's, I must voice this dire situation which has escalated out of control. Since 2003, I have been a victim of an insidiously elusive crime known as organized stalking and electronic harassment. An unknown group of perpetrators are continually committing illegal surveillance, intimidation, and torture 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of me while I'm in my home. The electronic technologies, what are known as directed energy weapons, being used have become very sophisticated over time. In fact, for the last year and a half, I have been enduring neurological weapons, also known as psychotronics, being prevalently used on me. And since July of 2008, they are now used on me 24 hours a day. This experience is akin to being in an electronic prison, where my most basic rights as a human being are taken away from me. Relocating does nothing to stop this heinous crime. The perpetrators using this technology are aided and encouraged in their evil doing by neighbors who allow these criminals into their homes to remotely surveillance, eavesdropping at the minimum, electronically torture, intimidate, and humiliate me in my own home on a daily basis. Because of the circumstances of the covert harassment and the advanced technology, silent, invisible, through-the-wall technologies leaving little to no evidence behind, reporting such harassment can often cause the victim to be discredited. Understanding this, it becomes obvious as to why reports of this kind of harassment are few, as victims have little opportunity to be taken seriously despite the facts. I have decided not to place a local police report for this reason, and have silently endured this torture with God-given resilience. But now that my mother is being targeted in addition, I can no longer be silent while this cruel and immoral activity is being allowed. These perpetrators are physically, psychologically, and financially devastating my life. Their malicious efforts are keeping me from living my life, a job, getting married, having children, life plans, 24 hours a day. I am forced to experience any number of technological effects. Early morning, I awake to an intermittent pulsing or vibration throughout my lower back, groin, and waist. Other times, it will be in my upper torso of my body, head, neck, chest, arms. I can only fear what is being done to my bodily internally from these weapons while I'm asleep. Due to this continual abuse, I cannot even get up from bed or from a seated position due to the intense pain inflicted and felt for days thereafter. My body aches every single day, and I am only 38 years old. I fear the long-term health ramifications of these technologies, particularly the irradiating neurological weapons being used on me daily, and now my poor mother, who is 69, is being technologically targeted while living in the same home. My mother is experiencing some of the exact targeting that I experience. Pulse pain to her lower back, groin, waist, and neck area, leaving her so sore she cannot walk, get up, or even cough without agony. She is also having sudden, extreme coughing fits so violent that she is throwing up in the wastebasket. Her coughing is also intensified based upon what we are discussing in our home. This includes if I am vocal about the situation in our home or researching sites online for help or organized stalking, electronic harassment. Due to the physical torture of our bodies and being deliberately made known of this injustice in our own home at the time, with precisely timed noise campaigns from our neighbors' homes and strikes against the adjoining townhouse walls to ours in a cruel and goading manner, these perpetrators have full knowledge of the gravity of their deeds. This abuse is known to be carried out by vigilante groups, employees of corporations under contract with the U.S. government for development of such devices and weapons using them without authorization, corporations conducting non-consensual experimentation of these devices on U.S. citizens and other individuals, and the U.S. intelligence agencies conducting both non-consensual experimentation and actual surveillance upon U.S. citizens as allowed by law for what is deemed reasons of national security. These are numerous materials documenting the development and application of these technologies by the U.S. government and private corporations under contract to the U.S. government from reliable sources of information such as CNN, the Department of Defense, U.S. News and World Report, and others. I have two sites which detail with evidences my experiences over time with this crime. The first one being www.gangstalkingevil.info, my first early on site with photographs, and www.neuralapocalypse.wordpress.com, photographs and videos, which discusses my ordeal with this high end of organized stalking and electronic harassment years later. I strongly urge you to consider giving the issues of psychotronic directed energy weapons and organized stalking more consideration in the focus of your work. This kind of activity must be exposed so that no one else need experience such painful disruption in their lives. Please do the right thing by enacting legislation making it illegal for federal authorities, whether intelligence or local law enforcement agencies, to use this technology to torment citizens for any reason. Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, FFCHS, that's www.freedomfchs.com, is one of the few organizations that work tirelessly to offer help and support to victims of this abuse. It has several hundred victims to date of this debilitating crime, and the number of victims in the United States are growing. I am enclosing several letters which support the mounting evidences of these crimes and documented effects of these technologies. People who experience this abuse can only wonder who it could possibly be who makes the decision to destroy their lives, presumably with the interest of national security in mind. Due to this crime, I have become indigent, staying with family for financial support, and as a result, no longer have a phone to be contacted on. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at the email address given below, or you can leave a contact number and I will return the call from an available phone as soon as possible. I greatly implore any direction or assistance you could give me on this dire public safety situation. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Mary E. Mitchell. And that was my email at the time, mmitchell_va@hotmail.com. And I also included the enclosures to Jonathan Wilson, attorney for FFCHS, letter to Senator Patrick Leahy, 3/31/2008. Derek Robinson, president for FFCHS, letter to Senator Patrick Leahy, dated 4/17/08. Jim Guest, a Montana representative, letter to legislator, dated 10-10-07, and fourth, American military documents on the development of radio frequency weapons. The nervous system can be compared to a radio receiver. And thank you for your time.